episode. Let's talk about Druski. Okay. All right, because we're already 53 minutes in. Okay, so is it just me where we say the thing everyone else is thinking out loud? Is it just me, or does hosting take more than being funny? Okay, so Druski boasted as being the youngest host in the history. Even took a moment to honor himself as a Black History moment. To me, I think my overall thought is, did Druski's internet comedy translate to live television? Let's break down the sketch by sketch. So online sketch is hugely successful. I don't know if it worked in the award show format. Y'all can disagree with me in the comments, whatever. But I'm like, being funny online is not the same skill as hosting live television. You called it. Just moments like knowing if I've set up a joke, I got to give you the mic so you could follow through. Just little stuff like that he missed out on. Let's talk that church opening. He comes in, strung up like a pastor, Gucci suit, red bottom, stepping in the name of Jesus. Does this whole sermon opening monologue. I was missing more of the you know how comedians, they do that opening monologue and they go out into the audience and they kind of like shoot shots at people. I feel like I was missing that. I feel like that didn't exist.
So, you know, I don't know how to do this sketch by sketch, so I may be a little bit all over the place, and I'll try and let you keep some structure.
You're always
so if I start
all over the place.
I know, but if I wander off the reservation, you can call me back. Like thing one. Does internet comedy translate? It can. However, you need to know how to make it translate, and the difference between what he was doing as a host versus what he needed to present as a talent are two different things. Because a great host should be able to walk in with a microphone and that's all they need to do the whole show. Right? Because you're there to shine a light on everybody else. You're there to keep the train moving. You're there to gloss over flubs and mistakes and keep the energy alive. That's the job.
Yeah, that was the main thing was missing with him to me. And like with
and that is the actual job.
That's the actual job.
The job is not, if you got to come on this show to promote yourself with your comedy sketches, then I'm not saying that you're not talented, and I'm not saying that you don't have the recognition and success that you do. I'm just saying that this might not be the right venue for that, because the job is to be there for the show.
And I didn't mind the sketches. I didn't mind the sketches. Like if you come out with this church opening,
it's funny.
Like if you come out with this church opening, to me, I feel like it was missing a little jokes. I feel like it was missing a bit of comedy. But I like the setup. You come out, you got the sermon, you're putting up the networks of Tyler Perry, Stevie Wonder, and Braille, cute. But to me, that opening monologue where you're, being the pastor is the moment you should have been calling out people in the congregation. And I think that if he was a stand-up comedian, he'd have been able to take that and like do stuff on the fly. And it was very scripted. They had like Alandria, which was clearly a scripted moment, and it just felt like awkward. It was to me, that was the biggest difference between having like a comedian mind and an online comedian.
Listen,
they do need to write the stuff down and prep it in advance. They're not on the fly.
Even working with BET, I've worked with some, some of the internet creators. And the thing about it is when you're in control of everything, right? Where something is shot, how long it's going to take, the angles and all these kind of things, that's great. But when you get on stage in front of an audience in real time, the subtleties, the nuance, the quiet stuff, the timing, that stuff plays out very, very differently in real time. And so I just think the sensibilities that are created in digital and film native spaces do not translate to stage in the same way. And so, the microphone is your friend, right? That's the only tool you should have. And also, when you got to tape bits and do all these things, the reality is, that's why we got to cut off Doechii and SZA, because you got a 30-second bit that's coming up. Right. And so we're taking time away from recipients and honorees so that you can do your bit. And I'm not saying your bit shouldn't be done. I'm just not saying that's not the purpose for the show.
Yeah. So we were moving on to Could Have Been Records. Now, this is a very popular sketch online. I don't feel like it translated to the award show stage, to be honest with you. Like it felt improvisational. It felt like, in this case, it felt we're going to do it, and then we're going to bring the guy with the big butt in, we're going to bring the white guy up, and I'm going to kind of say something funny. And I feel like, okay, let's go. Like, it didn't feel like but to me, a joke was prepared in this.
But if I'm critiquing that, I'm not critiquing it on funny. I'm critiquing it on purpose, right? It's like if you had another artist who was in the show in that bit, it's a music bit, it's a music show.
That would have been funny.
Right. If
one
you
of the
brought in
nominees,
Lotto,
bringing the nominees and the actual
yes.
celebrities that were there, and then they went and they did something great, and then you were like, yeah, no, like that would have been
Right.
funny.
Right.
Like a guy with
if
a
you brought
booty,
out,
like okay.
right. If you brought out Scissor, Doechii, Lotto, and then brought out the man with the booty, maybe that would.
And then
I
pick
don't
the
know.
man with the booty or something over all of them.
Right.
That would have been a funny bit. You know what I mean? Missed opportunity for comedy to me. I don't know. Then we
But
had
I will
the
say this. I just want to pause for a second and offer to Druski that you can have the title "Man with the Booty." I don't know what you're gonna do with it, man. But you know, I don't want to come off like I'm hating on you because I'm not. I love what you do, and I definitely support you. I think the work you do is fantastic.
Druski.
And also, you can have the title "Man with the Booty."
But you don't have to apologize. Look, this is what we're here for. We're producers, okay? So we're here to give you ideas. Take them or leave them. We're pitching you stuff. We're throwing it at you. Like if you want to hire us, trust me, we're free. We're open. We got time. If you need us to produce some sketches for you, I got ideas for days. Call me, all right?
I don't know what Druski's group is called. I don't know if they call the skiers or whatever. I just don't need them coming for me.
The skiers?
The skiers. I don't know.
Okay, your oldest showing. Your oldest showing again. Let's move on before people notice it.
Hey, that's because you just showed up. You just got inducted into the group, so you're like, oh, look at you.
No, I'm not there yet. Okay, so the Cypher to me was one of the better sketches, and I don't know if it's because he's in whiteface and he's funnier to me when he's in whiteface, but the white boy Red partakes in the Cypher. We know the Cypher was a big BET thing, so I love that they played on it. You got the whole they did a play on it last year because Kevin Hart was hosting last year, so it's the same situation. But you got the white rapper who can't say the N-word. I actually thought that this was like a well thought of concept and funnier of all of them. I would say. And then you had the Jay-Z thing. So the Jay-Z impersonation, it had funny moments. But there was really no jokes in it. It was just like, hey, I can talk like Jay-Z. I can talk like Jay-Z. He kept cutting Ice Cube off. It felt a little all over the place to me, and I was just like,
well, and this again, I'm just saying that the problem with the way they approached his hosting is that the show has to stop so that we can do your bit. And then after your bit is over, then we can resume the show.
So they're trying to fit his bits into the show when it doesn't really flow the show. That's why it felt so choppy. That's it exactly.
You're stopping the progress. We got to stop to look at you, and then we got to get back to the show that we were doing. And I just think that you had other nominees that need to be recognized.
That could have just been a way, and that might have been why we got so few awards. But I also think like when you think about a Kiki, you said it best. You said Keke Palmer is always Kiki, so she can just effortlessly move through the show. Where Druski is playing a character, he's creating a persona. He disappears into the joke. So for the joke to land, he has to become that person, step away from Druski as the host to be Jay-Z or to be this pastor, and he hasn't yet mastered the way of hosting in the midst of playing these characters. Now, if he masters that, he would be a much better host, but I don't feel like he mastered that on Sunday night.
But I mean, you got to go a step back. He hasn't even demonstrated that in his pursuit of a career, right? We know who Druski is as a character. We recognize him as a sketch performer. We recognize him as a comic actor. Druski is not different than Kenan Thompson. Right? You know Kenan on SNL. We know he's funny as shit on SNL. You know fuck all about Kenan Thompson outside of that camera, right? And so we don't know who or how he is as a person, what his disposition is, what his thoughts and beliefs are, right? Because those are the marks of the comedian versus the comic actor. And I'm just distilling the person that does monologues and tells jokes versus the person that acts and performs inside constructs. So Druski, we know him as an actor and a comedian in that regard. We don't know him as a voice and as a personality. So when he stops playing a character, we just waiting for you to get to the next character. I don't know who you are. And so when you're on a stage and the job is being on the microphone, it's like, I don't know what I'm expecting. And Kiki has that in spades.
Yeah, I think it would have been more interesting if he was like a reoccurring comedic break or a comedic. He popped up like there was a host and he popped up and did little moments where he was these characters. I think they would have been more successful. He also did drop.
No, I was just gonna
What?
say, it reminds me of when Martin and Jamie did the Wanda and Shanae thing in context of the BET, award show that they were on. It's like, that again, that was just another iconic moment. And
Yeah.
so even in him doing his sketches, he was insular in a way. I don't know who the big booty guy was. I don't know who that is. So you're not exciting me by doing this sketch. Right, when you see Wanda and
Yeah.
Sinead together, it's like, oh shit, they was trying to make a movie, they couldn't get it done, but it was that important. Shout out to Chris Spencer.
Yeah, so I mean, he did drop a new skit, Joe, while he was hosting the BET Awards, which you had Jafar and you had Janet in the audience. I don't know if they played it during the award show, but it definitely premiered on the same night. And when you look at
Yeah.
the Joe sketch, which is all about the Jackson Five and Joe being in, a music.
Well, first of all,
It's
did you
funny.
think it was funny? It was fucking funny.
It is funny, and that's why I said I was like, okay, these are great. His sketches always get me, but it really got you. But the hosting, I feel like it's a possibility to bridge the gap. I just don't think he's there yet. Like taking what we see online and being able to bring it over, I don't think he's there yet. And you know why I think it's not? Because he had too many other things to focus on that he don't have to ever focus on. Hosting is a whole nother job in itself outside of making these sketches successful. And I think that if he only had to focus on the sketches, he'd have been great. If he only focused on the hosting, maybe he'd been great. But trying to do both, I think it was too much for him.
I'm just saying, if the show had opened with
the Joe sketch,
he wouldn't have had to do another joke the rest of the night.
Missed opportunity for comedy. Yeah, a lot of missed opportunities there. And like even with the Could Have Been record, having the actual people that would have been great too.
But this is what I'm saying again, just in terms of programming. What they're not understanding is that Druski's famous on the internet, and as big and as widely distributed as the internet is, it's still not television and movies, right? That shit's still bigger, right? And so when you're still introducing Druski to an audience that is not familiar with him,
not familiar with him, yeah,
right? And so you want to do that in a way that says this is a guy that's important. Y'all not even giving him your BET stamp of approval. You're just assuming because he got 1 million followers online or however many millions it is in clicks and views, that still doesn't rise you to the level of the truest types of fame, right? He's right at that point now where really famous people and the larger audience is going, oh, you seen that guy that did the race car thing? You seen that guy that did the church thing? You seen that guy that did the slave thing? He's that guy. They're learning his name is Druski, and so I just think that another missed opportunity to really platform him.
I'm shocked he didn't come out as Erica Kirk at any point in time. I just feel like so many missed opportunities.
Well, because that's for them. Keep her over there. We don't want to introduce that into our night.
No, I get it. Yeah.